All right, good evening, everybody. It is the Sunday before the end of the month. There are 2 days left in May, I think. I think so. I don't know. I'm pretty sure. So first off, there are, like I said, there's 2 days left. There are so many people that are close to Success Club, which I'm going to go over in a minute. But I don't want you guys to give up. There are 2 days left in the month. A lot can happen in 2 days. I'm still not even at Success Club 10 yet, and I'm still pushing for it every single day. So please do not give up on that. So for Success Club, who do we have on the board right now? We have Christine is leading at 8. I have 6. Amy and Sally both have 4. Beth Ann, Fuller, Jocelyn, Heather, and Nia, not Ania. Stacy and Lacey all have 2, and Christine Summerlin has 1. So if you guys all would help between 2 and 3 people more this month, you can totally do it. Remember, our Summer Strong group starts on June 6th, so that's what you guys should be inviting to right now. Currently, I am actually doing a sneak peek into a challenge group, and I was going to do this call on that, but I didn't want to do it until it was totally complete and I actually had some kind of data to report back to you guys. And once that is done, I'll probably actually do that as either next week's team call or the following week, just so I can give you guys an idea so you can do your own for next month. And I'm going to also put all of the kind of posts that I made into a Google Doc so you guys can use that for your own sneak peeks in the future. But it's going really well. I like it. It hasn't produced what I've seen on other sneak peeks, but at the same time, this is what happens. You have to do trial and error in everything that you do. Just because something doesn't work perfectly the first time does not mean that you should give up on it. You have to make adjustments for yourself and for your business, because not everybody's businesses or themselves are the same. So not every little thing is going to work exactly the same as it would for somebody else. So just remember that. And like I said, I will be doing a team call on that. So if you're wondering what that is, I'll be going over it. But I also posted in the coach group the call that I got the idea from and that I got kind of my motivation from. So definitely check that out in the coach group. For June, so June 6th starts our Summer Strong Challenge. I'm putting together our calendar today. I've been working on it, so that'll be up in the next couple days, and that'll be the pinned post in the coach group like it has been. All of the links to all of the groups will be in that post. You guys will see everything laid out perfectly right there. For June, the challenge pack promotions are the 21-day fix, 21-day fix extreme, and the kickstarts for those. Thank freaking God, because it's been forever since they put those on promo, and they're always such good months when they have that coming out. And the reason that they have that coming out this month, I'm positive, is because Country Heat comes out in July, the same month as Coach Summit. So I'm assuming that Country Heat, I don't know if it's going to come out before Summit or if they're going to release it at Summit like they did last year with Size. So make sure that you're telling people that. I wouldn't specifically tell people that it's going to be on sale in June, because then they might hold off and you might not get those points this month. But at the same time, they usually kind of put out their promotions a day early. So those, I'm not 100% sure yet, but those might be actually available within tomorrow's the 30th, so probably on the 31st. But I can't say that for certain. I'm just kind of assuming. So I think that's pretty much it for updates. What I wanted to go over tonight was something that I have gone over in the past. It's basically actually going to be pretty similar to a team call that I have done before, but it is an important topic that so many coaches struggle with, and it's not a bad thing to review over and over again, and that is time management. Everybody has a problem with time management, and it's because there are so many things that we can be doing as coaches. And it's very easy to get caught in the bells and whistles and not actually be focusing on the things that actually grow our business, those business building activities. And it is very easy to constantly feel like you are working, but you're not actually working. You're just doing busy work, and you're saying that you're working because you're scrolling on Facebook. And that's why this call is, like I said, I've pretty much done this call before, but it doesn't hurt for me to hear again. It does not hurt for you guys to hear again. And the material for this is actually from Melanie Mitro, because when I went to NLC, she did this awesome presentation, and I basically have her presentation, and that's what I'm going to be giving to you guys. So this is basically straight from the Top Coach with some added things that I put in here. All right, so first thing is first, one of the most influential things that I heard at NLC was being a product of the product is so important, because you guys have to remember your body is your business. If your body is not reflecting changes, and I'm not saying that your body has to be perfect, not by any means, but you have to be showing a progression. You have to be showing that this stuff works in order for people to actually trust you that it works, It's just like how we look at all of those it works people, and we're like, it doesn't really work, because, come on. You have to be showing that this works, and it's because your body is your business. So make sure that you are doing what you have to be doing every single day. You're not going to grow your business if you're not in Shakeology. You're not. I'm going to tell you that right now, because I tried it and it didn't work in the beginning. You are not going to grow your business if you're not doing your workouts. And I want to be kind of specific on this. Like, you want to be doing some of the workouts, but there are coaches that do make it work if you still go to the gym. Like, that's not a make or break kind of thing right there. But using the meal plan, sharing recipes, sharing that you are actually living this lifestyle, you have to be showing that, and your body has to be showing the changes that are happening from doing so. There's a lot that goes into coaching, and I tell people that pretty much straight from the get-go. Probably I didn't when I first started, because I didn't really realize it myself. But there are so many things, like I said, that you can be doing, but it's basically comes down to those 4 vital activities that you really should be focusing on each day. And we get too caught up in everything else, and we don't focus on those things that are actually growing our businesses. And we start to get overwhelmed, especially with all of the training that's available. So that's why specifically in our coach training group, I said, don't move on to the next one until you have actually done the training and implemented it, because you're just going to get too overwhelmed if that's the case. But being an entrepreneur in general and being a coach, it's you're going to put in a lot more work at first than you're going to see that reward from. It's just how it is. I've talked about this many times before, from the Compound Effect, that the book by, I can't even think of his name right now. But in the book, The Compound Effect, the author talks about how you have to pump and pump and pump and pump and pump a well, and you're getting drips of water, and that's it. And you get so frustrated and you just give up, unless you continue pumping and you continue pumping that well, and eventually it just starts flowing out. That's the exact same way coaching is. It doesn't happen right away. Typically, I can't even say that like it doesn't for everybody, because there are some coaches that just like instantly they have success, and that's great for those. But for the majority of us, it takes a lot of work that you're not going to see that reward from right at first. But you have to keep on trying. You have to keep on pushing forward, trusting the process, and doing what you need to be doing every single day. There's a quote from The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson that says, "You are willing to do what other people are not willing to do now, so that you can have what other people wish they could have 3 years from now." And that's the same, that's what you have to remember, that it takes. I can tell you guys, I worked my freaking ass off 3 years ago. I worked my ass off to get where I am today. I did not get where I am today because I didn't work. I worked a lot, and my paychecks didn't reflect how much I was working in the beginning. But because I kept on working, because I kept on trusting the process, my paychecks are reflecting that now. And I can actually go a day without working and not have to worry. And that's what you guys have to keep in mind. Keep the end kind of goal in mind. You don't always want to think about the end, but you want to remember that you're going to get somewhere if you keep on going with this. And I know as a mom of two, and now as a single mom, I know how difficult it can be to get in everything that you need to do in a day. But the fact, there's all types of coaches. I can tell you, I have personally met coaches that are earning a crazy income, that are making this work, that are ER surgeons. I met this one specific coach at NLC. I don't know it was on the Success Club cruise. And she literally works like 60, 70 hours a week. But what she did, because she continued working her Beachbody business, she paid off her student loans from all of that with her ER job pay, and she was living solely on her Beachbody income. And that's because she put in the work. Eventually if she wanted to retire, she could, but the thing is that she loves what she does. And that's, coaches are all different walks of life. Not every coach has a goal to retire. Not every coach wants to leave their job. Not every coach wants to do this full time. Not every coach wants to do this part time. Not every coach is a parent. There's so many different kinds of people out there. There's people that are going to school. There's people that are single parents. There's people that are military families. There are so many different people, but you can make it work. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. You have to choose what you're going to do with those 24 hours and how you're going to make those 24 hours work for you and work for your business and work for your family as well. So what I always think, I started doing this a couple years ago, that I started setting business hours because I felt so overwhelmed about a year into the business because I was constantly on my phone, and constantly checking my computer. And I felt too overwhelmed. I felt like I couldn't disconnect. And that's a problem. You want to make sure that you can disconnect. You want to make sure that because a lot of us do this so that we can be with our families. If you're never there mentally with your family, that's not aligning with your priorities, and you're going to get frustrated, and that's going to translate into your work. That's going to translate into your mood. That's not going to work for your business, and it's not going to work for your personal life. So you have to set those boundaries. So what I you guys, if you message me, you'll notice I don't message back all day. And that's because I had to set those boundaries. I typically message between 2 and 3 times a day, and it's in the morning, in the afternoon at nap time, and at night after my kids go to bed. And that's because a big part of why I do this is so that I can spend time with my kids. I can't spend time with my kids if I'm on my phone all day. I can't do it. But at the same time, I have to also work my business. So I figured out when I personally can work my business, not when my hours are not going to work for everybody. They're not going to be the same for somebody who works a 9-to-5 job. You have to keep in mind what your life is like and figure out those time slots that you can actually fit your work into. And you want to keep your focus on what you're doing in your business and what you're doing with those hours that you're setting. You want to make sure that you're getting the stuff done that needs to get done in order to move your business forward. Keep your focus on what moves your business forward, not on busy work. So how you can do this is you want to recognize time-wasting activities. There's this one meme that says, I wonder how many miles I've scrolled with my thumb on my phone on Facebook. And it's totally true. I mean, really, how many of you guys sit there multiple times a day, just scroll? It's a huge time-wasting activity, and it's something that pretty much all of us struggle with. But you have to recognize that. That's the whole point of recognizing your time-wasting activities. Because if you can start to recognize it, you can start to stop it. You might not stop it altogether, because scrolling Facebook, it kind of is important to your business because you want to be connecting with those people on Facebook, but at the same time, you don't need to be mindlessly scrolling on Facebook for hours a day, because then you're going to feel like you're constantly working, but you're not really working, you're just scrolling. for myself, it was like a big punch in the gut that I realized that I had to start getting up earlier if I wanted to achieve my goals. Because my kids are, I mean, Jackson is 3.5, Ellie will be 2 in August. They are not low energy. Like, they're not whatsoever. And when they're awake, it's very hard for me to actually get any work done. It's very hard for me to focus on anything because they're constantly coming up to me and doing something. And so I realized that if I wanted to get my workout in, if I wanted to get my work done in the morning, I had to get up earlier. And now they're getting up earlier, so I'm going to have to adjust a little bit. But hitting the snooze button, that can be a huge time-wasting activity. And this goes back to doing what most people won't do in order to get and live how most people won't be able to live in a few years from now. You have to sometimes sacrifice that sleeping time. And that's not saying that you're going to only sleep like 4 to 5 hours a night. I am not saying that at all. You want to be healthy. You want to sleep well. But you have to figure out where you can fit those things into your day. For me, hitting the snooze button, huge time waster, because if I actually were to get my ass up, I'd get a lot more done. And that's exactly what started happening once I stopped. I mean, I still hit the snooze button, don't get me wrong. I have my alarm set for 5:45, and very rarely do I get up at 5:45, but I at least start to wake up and I'll get up earlier. You want to reduce your distractions. Scrolling Facebook. That's one of the biggest ones. And what I actually do is I use the internet browser Google Chrome, and you can download plugins for it. So let me share my screen really quick because I can show you guys exactly what my Facebook newsfeed looks like. Come on, load all the way. Okay, for some reason, whenever I'm on Zoom, it doesn't actually show it. But right here, normally when I'm not on Zoom, it actually says, do not get distracted by Facebook. So I have it set on my Google Chrome. I have it set on my desktop because that's typically where I work from. I don't really work from my phone all that much unless it's answering messages, and even then, I don't really like to do that. I typically work from my computer. So for me, having this newsfeed blocked out, like it doesn't show up. It reduces a lot of the temptation to actually scroll on Facebook. But I have it set so all of my favorite groups and everything are over here, so I can easily click into those and click into actually what I need to be focusing on and doing. What I also did was I turned off my chat bar. So you see this right here. It used to always come up where like if somebody messaged me during the times that I did not want to message people, because like I said, I message people between 2 and 3 times a day, and that's about it. I turned my chat bar off because people would pop up all day long, and I would get distracted because I would see that message come up, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should answer that. It's very easy to get distracted from that. So how you can do that is literally you just turn your chat on like that. And I can't see this over here. You can click this little thing right there and say turn off chat. So what that does for me is when somebody does message me, it just pops up as a little like, you know, notification like it does right there. It doesn't actually pop up onto my screen. It just pops up like 1, 2, 3, like it shows me how many messages I'm getting, but I don't actually have to worry about answering those. I'm not seeing what they're saying, so it doesn't bother me as much that I'm not answering those. All right, I think that's all in there. For your phone, phone is a huge one too. Turn off your notifications on your phone. Because, I mean, for one, I have Facebook notifications coming up all the time, chat notifications, all that kind of stuff. Like, I think I turned off my Facebook ones, but yeah, I definitely turned off my Facebook ones because they were just constant. I mean, we're coaches. Our Facebook is constantly going crazy. But I kept on my my chat on here. But that way I don't have a ton of things popping up on my phone all the time. And when you are working, simply turn your phone over so you can't see it. Or put it in a drawer, put it in something so you can sit and focus on the things that you need to actually be doing. Turn your phone on silent so if you get a call, you don't have to hear it, so you're not tempted to answer it. Yeah, I think that was about it for distractions. But I'm sure you guys can think of some for yourself that maybe you get distracted by this or that. Try to reduce those distractions so you can actually focus on the task at hand. All right, so you want to plan your weeks and your months out. This is why I actually put out a monthly calendar to you guys, because it's so important to actually have a visual and to know what you should be doing every week of every month so that you have a goal of what to be inviting to. You know, if by what you're supposed to be inviting to, what you can gear your post towards. It really helps to show what are the important things you should be doing that week. And it really helps if you guys sit down and you do like a brain dump every single week. Basically what that means is literally writing a list of everything that you need to do in a week, whether it's personal or business-wise, and going through and figuring out what the most important things are for that week so that you can focus on those things before moving on to the other things that are maybe not so important. Because it's very easy to try and get the things done that are of smaller importance because those are easy. And we sit there and put off the actual things that matter because it's hard to do. And we don't want to, we as humans just don't want to focus on the hard stuff first. We want to actually focus on the easy stuff, get it done so we feel accomplished. We have a check mark on our boxes. So what you can do for planning out your weeks, you can use Google Calendar. You can use Awesome Note. That's what I use on my phone. You can use Asana. You can use basically whatever works for you. You can even have like a big calendar on your desk or something, or on your wall. Just make sure that you can figure out what you have to be doing every week so you can focus on that. When it's time to work, when you have that scheduled work time, work. You have your distractions reduced. You have all of that stuff reduced so you can sit there and focus. Don't snooze. Get your workout done. Do your 3 vital behaviors. Well, 4 now. For when you're answering messages, you want to kind of go through and prioritize those. So if you know that somebody is interested in signing up for a group or something, maybe you want to answer those people first before you're going to be moving on to somebody who you're just starting to form with. You want to sit down and ask yourself, is this a business building activity or is this a time wasting activity? Because if it's a time wasting activity, put it off. Don't do it. Focus on the business building ones first, and once you get that business building stuff done, then you can move on. And personal development is one of our vital behaviors, but for me, that's not actually one of the first things that I get done because that's something that I typically fit into other parts of my day. I use Audible pretty much, and so I will sit or I'll have it playing while I'm showering, while I'm driving, while I'm doing dishes, while I'm cleaning something, right before I go to bed. You know, I sit there and I fit it into different parts of my day. I multitask to get that in. And not to mention, it kind of helps me get through all that other stuff because it's giving that positivity to me while I'm doing it. For inviting is literally, I've showed you guys my list 1,000 times. Inviting is my number 1 task on my list. And that's because it is so important. You're not ever going to grow a business if you don't invite. It is I can't even say it's the most vital behavior or it's the most important vital behavior, but it is definitely so important because if you're not inviting anybody, it's never going to grow. And that was always, there's this one book from Brian Tracy called Eat That Frog. And it talks about how the biggest, scariest task of your day is typically the one that not only do you put off, but it's typically the one that's going to help you achieve your goals. But because it's those two things, it's the biggest one that's going to help you, but it's the scariest one, we typically tend to put that off. You want to eat that frog, which means you want to get the most important task of your day done first. That's why it's done. You can move on. You have done it. It's good. I actually literally get anxiety if I don't get my invites out during like first thing in the morning now, because that's what always used to happen to me. I would go throughout my entire day not inviting, pushing it off until the very end of the day, and then I wouldn't get my invites out. And then I would feel anxious because I knew that I wasn't going to grow my business if I didn't actually invite anybody to join me in either coaching or in my groups. And it would worry me because this is important to me. This is a priority to me, is growing my business. And now that's why I get that done first. You want to actually get the things that are going to grow your business done first in your day. You will feel better. You will actually move through your day easier because you're not going to have that worry in your brain about, I still need to do that. So that's inviting new contacts. You want to follow up with people. You want to, when you're actually doing these activities, you want to kind of set almost a time limit. You don't want to spend a huge amount of time doing each activity. You want to try and get through it as fast as possible. So basically as efficient as you can. So that way it's, you're utilizing your time the best way that you can do it. So try to set time limits on things and continue on with that. All right. For building a business, this is something that was actually kind of surprising to me, but it makes a great amount of sense, is when you are growing your business and you're growing your team, you want to make sure that you are actually putting 80% of your time into your own business and 20% of your time into helping your team grow their businesses. And this is why. Because you can only control the controllable. You can't control what your team does. You can't control what other people do, but you can control what you do to grow your own business. And that's not saying that you don't want to help your team. You don't want to help them do this. I'm not saying that whatsoever. I'm here taking my time to help you guys grow your business. But the thing is, I spend the majority of my time growing my business because we all can't rely on other people to do the work that we need to be doing. You want to make sure that you are doing what you need to do to grow your own business because you don't know. I've had diamonds fall off. I've had somebody that I thought was going to be amazing, just all of a sudden up and they're done. And that it did impact me because I wasn't expecting it. And that's why now I know that I need to make sure that I am getting done what I need to do in a day, in a week, in a month, in order to grow my own business, because you never know what's going to happen with somebody else. You never know what's going to happen in their lives that might cause them to fall off track or do something different. So make sure that you guys are controlling the controllable. So when you are scheduling and everything, make sure to keep your priorities in check. Like I said, I stopped being on my phone all the time because that wasn't aligning with my priorities to spend time with my kids. So sometimes, as silly as it sounds, schedule in personal time, schedule in family time so that you can make sure that you're not putting off the most important things to you, because it's easy to do, especially when you start to get this business up and running and rolling. It's kind of easy to get obsessed. I'm not going to lie. I've done it. I've gotten to that point where it was just like, that's all I wanted to do was coach because I love it so much. And then you start to feel and you start to put off the other important things in your life, and you can't do that. You have to have that balance. So make sure that you guys are blocking off time for your families. Make sure that you're blocking off non-business related time for yourself, not business or workout time related, because working out, to me, yes, that's a huge stress reliever, but at the same time, it is part of my, it's connected to the business. So I have to make sure that I'm not constantly just focusing on something business. I need something to help my brain and to help me disconnect from it all, because otherwise you start to go a little bananas. So make sure that you guys are doing that. All right, that's pretty much all I had to talk about. Does anybody have any questions or anything they want me to go over? I haven't looked at the chat box. Lisa, you said, how do you block it out? Did you mean that about Google Chrome?
Yes.
Okay, so you
like
got
the news feed. How do you block it out? Because I use that too.
it's an ad, or it's a, if you search on Google and you search specifically for, I wish I could see what it says. I want to say like hide my news feed or something. Just search like Google Chrome plugin, like hide Facebook news feed, and you'll,
Okay.
it's something you can download, and then when it loads on your computer, it'll just automatically do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. Mariah, you said, where is the new coach training? Okay, so the new coach training, first off, you have to fill out a form. And the new coach training, it starts off with a 7-day training group. And you have to complete all 7 days in order to move on to our revolving training group. And in that revolving training group, there's a ton of information. And I'm putting stuff in there. You know, I haven't put anything in there since I made it. Anything new, rather. There's like 4 trainings in there right now. But there's going to be constantly stuff loaded into there to continue your training through it. But I want to make sure that you guys have the basics nailed down before you get into there, so that you're not feeling overwhelmed, so that you can focus on the really important stuff first before you move on. So you have to finish the 7 days, all 7 days, before you can move on. And if you don't finish those 7 days, you're invited into the next one. I'm basically running them bi-weekly right now, unless we have a huge influx of coaches, in which I will run like an extra one. But we are just finishing up a training today, so the next one probably won't start tomorrow. It'll probably start the next weekend, the 6th. But if you search in the coach training, or in the Fit and Free coach group, and you scroll down a bit, you'll be able to actually see the post that shows the form that you have to fill out. And then you can request to join the 7-day training. It's the same group all the time, but you're not going to be approved to go into the group until that form is filled out. And until the training starts, you'll get approved between Sunday and Monday. All right, does anybody have any questions? Anything they want to ask, go over? All right, so this week, if you guys have not done this already, set some business hours, set some boundaries for your business, figure out what those important things you have to be doing are, so you can get those things done before you move on to the next task. Because you have to get, I mean, honestly, ever since I came back from NLC, I was like, I'm doing way too much. I am doing stuff that's not actually growing my business, and I'm flipping out because of it, because I feel overwhelmed. So I stopped doing all of that stuff, and I started really focusing on the vital behaviors, because those are the things that are vital to growing your business. Fancy that. So really figure out those things that you need to be doing every day. Look at the calendar. I post that in the coach group for a reason, for you guys to use it. Like I said, there will be the new June calendar coming up. Like I said, the new challenge group starts on June 6th. That is Summer Strong, so you guys can continue inviting to that, especially over the next 2 days. Try to hit Success Club. Honestly, try to focus on how many people you want to be helping this month, because that is what this is about. This is about helping people, helping yourself, growing your income, and growing your business. Today is also, by tomorrow is the last day that you can get into the Diamond by Summit group. It's a $25 pay-in. All of the winners that hit Diamond and stay Diamond until July 28th is the end of it. You guys will split a pot. So it's a very, very simple group. It's focusing on the vital behaviors, basically. It's not extra training that you have to do every single day. It's focusing on what you need to be focusing on. And you're going to be getting a packet that shows you everything that you need to be doing in a week and on a daily basis. So it keeps you focused on the important stuff, and it makes you not miss the important stuff that you need to be doing to grow your business. So the video explaining all of that is in the coach group as well, along with the Pure Synergy coach group. You have to pay $25 to Scott, request to join the group, and he will approve you. All right, so that's it. I hope you guys all enjoy the rest of your Sunday nights, and I will see you all next week. Bye.